Hey everybody, Jonathan here, and today we're going over part 2 of things you should know before your Lagree Fitness Certification. How much do they pay, and how does their pay scale work? 1, by the hour. 2, per class. 3, per class at a flat rate. And if you fill the whole class, you get a bonus, or a flat rate for a specific number of machines and a flat rate for every machine after. Each reformer is a set dollar amount, but if it doesn't fill up to, let's just say, 6 out of 12, which is $30, they'll still give you a flat rate of 30, which is cool. You can look online to see if there are any forums or threads or answers as to what the average rate of a Pilates or a Lagree or X-Form instructor is. Look at all three just to see. You also want to ask if they hire their employees as W-2 or as 1099. You'll be counted as an employee as a W-2 independent contractor if you're 1099. I'm not a financial advisor, so please check with your CPA or financial advisors. Being a 1099 employee gives you the benefit of writing certain things off for your work. You can definitely write off your Lagree Fitness Certification, any type of additional education. As a W-2 employee, you don't get to write off those type of items, but as an employee, for example, in the state of California, you're entitled to 5-day sick leave starting 2024. If you're sick, you can either use your sick time that you have accrued through the hours that you've worked, or if the employer or studio has great benefits, they would give you the 5 days up front. So remember, if you are a W-2, you have sick time benefits. I don't want you to actually be sick, not be able to teach a class, and have that affect your bills and your finances. The third thing that I would ask is if they have a non-compete. In the state of California, non-compete is not valid. There are articles right now that you can look up on Google that will specifically state that an employer now needs to tell current and new employees that non-compete is not a thing. They cannot tell you that you cannot teach at another studio, whether it's 5 miles, 10 miles. Do your research so that you have facts in hand. If you're in a state where non-compete is valid, it's important to read the specifics of their non-compete because it can be very vague. They could say you're not allowed to teach at a competitor, but who is a competitor? You'll then have a baseline as to what to ask and to see if what they say matches what you read. A fourth thing that you want to take into consideration is, do you want to do this part-time or full-time? When I started, I just thought I needed to do the training and then I would get hours and then there you go, right? But it was far from the truth. I was given, I think, 3 or 4 classes. I had given up my 9-to-5 job and I had to literally burn through my savings and network as much as possible so that I could sub. Fortunately, the studio was opening up in San Diego and I was like, sign me up. I went for 7 months from Orange County to San Diego, Monday through Wednesday, and that allowed me to teach 12 to 14 classes a week, I believe. I think it's a good idea to start part-time to see if you like it, because you'll probably need to work at multiple studios, as most studios already have instructors and they don't really need anybody full-time. Another important thing to think about is, why do you want to become a Pilates or a Lagree instructor? Is it because you want to do it for fun, because you really love it and you want to teach it and help people through things that you struggled with when you were going through Pilates? Is it because it's a trend? Is it because you want to do it for the money? Because it can pay pretty well. But remember that it's a very labor and physical type of job. You're giving everybody your energy, your time, your focus. You're trying to make sure everybody's on the right spring, the right leg, and then getting a 10 to 15 minute sort of break in between to use the restroom, talk to clients, prep for the next class. It's a lot, and which is why it pays pretty decent, pretty well, depending on where you work. Lastly, let's talk about the cost of certification and how many hours you would need to work in order to make that money back before making a profit. So if we think about, let's say, $2,000 for Lagree certification, if you get paid $40 a class, you would have to teach 50 classes at $40 a class before you make up the money that you paid for your teacher training. And that's talking about being a W-2 employee. So those are things that you should know and consider before signing up for Lagree Fitness Certification. Thank you for your time. Your likes, your subscriptions, your shares would greatly help push my content to other people. I appreciate the consideration. I thank you for your time, and I will see all of you next time.